You're what's poppin', gang? Hope everybody here. Hope y'all got it. This smoke with Peso. Cue the intro.
Be dangerous with a gang, but I'm still dangerous on my own. So if you thinking you gon' play, just pack them out then.
Alright, so we got this today we got this Jimmy Wapo, Pittsburg last real demon. I don't know nothing about dude, but I'm trying to find out how much of a demon he really was. So if you're new to the channel, remember to like, share, subscribe. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, and ring that bell so you all post notifications when I post anything and do anything, make a move, y'all know. You know what I'm saying? We on the road to 300. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you didn't know, now you know. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going up, gang. Let's bust 300. Because after we bust 300, we're going to skill 400. And we're going to jump straight to 500. You know what I'm saying? We're going to jump straight to the road to 500. So, yeah, man, bro, with me. We already a minute in, so I don't want to waste too much more of y'all time. But without further ado, let's get it.
Need to do, like, I mean, it made me jump more on, like, I mean, but the second time, then that's when that's when I peaked, like, damn, it's all a cycle.
If you keep getting caught at it, you're not good at it, you feel me? Like, if it's just something that you keep getting caught at, stop doing it. Do something different.
Jimmy Wapo had quite a following and was known beyond the Pittsburgh rap scene. But his career all ended yesterday when he was shot multiple times in the Hill District.
6 bullets couldn't stop him. Twice, death came knocking. And twice, Jimmy Wapo laughed in its face. But on that fateful day in 2018, the streets caught up to him for the last time.
Up-and-coming Pittsburgh rapper Jimmy Wapo was just 21 years old. He was shot in a drive-by shooting right here on Wiley Avenue between Chauncey and Duff Streets.
But why was Jimmy Wapo always a target? What made him Pittsburgh's most talked about rapper? And how did his story end on the same day as XXXTentacion's tragic death?
People be saying that, like, Pittsburgh ain't on shit like that and all that. It's just not enough people. You know, all these is overpopulated. You feel me? They got an advantage and still cracking.
Let's get into it. From surviving drive-bys to dropping anthems that made his city proud, Jimmy Wapo wasn't just another rapper. He was a survivor, a hustler, and a voice for the streets.
I ain't never heard
but
of
was
Jimmy
his story
Wapo.
doomed from the start? And what really happened on that last day in the Middle Hill? Jimmy Wapo, born Trayvon Smart, came up in Pittsburgh's.
That's my name. Just change that A to it. Change that A to an E. You got my name. Well, mine's Smart, but you got my first name.
Hill District.
It's always my name. Dang, what's going on, man? My name famous, man.
A neighborhood that wasn't for the faint of heart.
That combination.
This wasn't the polished mainstream Pittsburgh you see in movies. Nah, this was the grind. The Hill District was raw, unforgiving, and made you choose between two paths, hustle or struggle. Wapo grew up in the middle of all that. He wasn't rapping about a life he didn't live. He was spitting his truth. The dangers, the fights, the hustle. It was all in his music.
People be saying that, like, Pittsburgh ain't on shit like that and all that. It's just not enough people. You know, all these is overpopulated. You feel me? They got an advantage and still cracking.
By his teens, Jimmy wasn't just surviving, he was making a name for himself in the underground rap game. His style was unique, smooth, gritty, and full of stories that connected with anyone who knew what it meant to struggle. But his talent couldn't keep the streets away for long. The first time Jimmy was shot was during the summer before what should have been his 10th grade year. By then, he had already dropped out of school, trading classrooms and
damn, 10th grade? Damn.
textbooks for the allure of freedom.
This
This newfound independence brought with it endless parties, late nights, and run-ins with trouble. On one particular night, while out enjoying himself, likely at a club, a fight broke out. It wasn't just a scuffle. This was the kind of chaos that turned deadly in seconds. Someone in the heat of the moment decided to let off shots into the crowd. In the frenzy, Jimmy got caught by a few stray bullets, 3 to be exact. It's a miracle he survived, but the experience didn't immediately slow him down. To Jimmy, surviving that first shooting wasn't a wake-up call. It was almost just another day in a life already intertwined with the streets. He wore those bullet wounds as battle scars, proof that he wasn't easy to take down. Then came the second time. This wasn't a case of stray bullets. This one felt personal. Jimmy was shot in both the stomach and the arm, and the injuries were severe enough to land him in the hospital for an extended stay. This wasn't something he could brush off. This time, Jimmy had more to think about. He was no longer just a young man living recklessly. He was a father now. He had a little girl depending on him and a music career that was finally starting to gain traction.
And that's what y'all got to think about when y'all want to try to jump in the streets and, you know what I'm saying, be YNs. That's what y'all got to think about, gang. Y'all got to think about, do I ever want a family? If the answer is no, do your thing. But if you want to have a family, be a family man, and live a normal life, don't do it. It ain't worth it, gang. And if your partners don't rock with you because of that, them ain't your partners, gang. You know what I'm saying? Because real partners ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying, ain't gonna lead you down no path that you don't want to go down. That's just what it is, gang. That's just the facts of the matter.
Action. Getting shot again forced him to pause, take a hard look at his choices, and consider what was really at stake.
I had much more shit on the line. I had a daughter. I had the song Walk a Bomb. That shit was kind of popping. It was my favorite joint that really kind of started blowing up.
By this time, Wopo's track Walking Bomb was buzzing. The song had put his name on the map, and he was getting offers to appear on TV and in movies. Even though he wasn't making big money yet, earning only around $200 for performances and verses, it was clear that his potential was limitless. At just 18 years old, he had already been shot 6 times in total, 3 bullets each in 2 separate incidents. For most people, that would have been enough to step away from the streets entirely. But for Wopo, it was fuel. In an interview with Complex, he reflected on how the second shooting shifted his mindset. It changed my life, but it didn't really change my music, he admitted. It just gave me more push, because just 2 years ago, I was somewhere getting shot up. Now I'm doing this. His survival became a symbol of resilience, and it showed in his music. His lyrics, already raw and unfiltered, carried an even deeper weight as he transformed his pain and near-death experiences into art. Despite the newfound clarity, Jimmy knew the streets didn't forget. His past was still catching up to him. For every step he took towards success, there was still the shadow of his old life trailing behind. The violence didn't just disappear because he had a hit song or because he was trying to go legit. In fact, his rising fame seemed to paint a bigger target on his back. His music was celebrated, but it also stirred up tensions. In the Hill District, beefs didn't settle quietly. Jimmy's resolve to push forward in his rap career was clear. He spoke often about his determination to make it in hip-hop, even after surviving multiple shootings. The streets might have tried to take him out, but his survival only strengthened his drive to succeed. He recognized that while his music couldn't erase the past, it could pave a path forward. Jimmy Wopo wasn't just a rapper. He was a storyteller. Tracks like Elm Street became street anthems, blending his gritty experiences with smooth beats that hit hard. He wasn't afraid to call out the realities of his life, and that authenticity made him a voice for Pittsburgh's underrepresented.
Come up out the crib, I gotta peek through the blinds.
Jimmy wanted more than anything to provide a better life for his daughter and leave behind the chaos that had defined his early
check him
years.
out, man.
But
Go
life
check
in
him
the
out,
Hill
gang.
District wasn't that simple. The streets don't grant second chances easily, and for someone like Jimmy Wopo, an artist on the rise who still had one foot in the game, leaving the past behind was easier said than done.
And right there, exactly what he just said. You can't have, look, bro, if you do, like, just say you do start rapping, right? And you get a buzz. You gotta leave that street. You gotta leave that hood in the hood, gang. I ain't gonna lie. Cause I'm gonna be a buck. The other people that you gonna be trying to impress, that ain't, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you know, you know. That you gonna be trying to impress with them deals, they not gonna want that. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna wanna try to take that gamble. Cause you see what happened to all the rappers that's like that. You know what I'm saying? They got one foot in, one foot out. You know what I'm saying? That's how Fulio was. He had one foot in, one foot out. You know what I'm saying? That's how TK was. He had one foot in, one foot out. You know what I'm saying? King Von, one foot in, one foot out. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think about it like that, gang. Like, that one rapper that got robbed, or supposedly got robbed, and went on Vlad TV and was talking about it and all of that. One foot in, one foot out. You can't be like that, gang. You gotta be all in and all out, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you. You can't half step with nothing. That's one thing I always pride myself on. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't half step with nothing. I don't never half step. So yeah, bro. If you gonna really try to change your life and, you know what I'm saying, really do something, do it, gang. Don't try to still be on the gangsters, because it's gonna bite you. You know what I'm saying?
He understood the risks, but also knew he couldn't just walk away from everything overnight. The pull of the streets was strong, and so was the danger that came with it. One of the most tragic aspects of Jimmy's story is that even when it seemed like he was on the cusp of something great, his past wouldn't let him go. The Hill District wasn't just a backdrop to his music. It was deeply ingrained in who he was. And while his talent and charisma brought him opportunities far beyond the streets, it was those same streets that ultimately sealed his fate.
Yep.
When Jimmy became the target of a drive-by shooting on his own property, it was clear that the streets had no mercy. He had survived so much already, but this time, he wouldn't get the chance to bounce back. In June 2018, Jimmy was sitting in his car in Pittsburgh's Middle Hill neighborhood when a drive-by took his life.
Up-and-coming Pittsburgh rapper Jimmy Wopo was just 21 years old. He was shot in a drive-by shooting right here on Wiley Avenue between Chauncey and Duff Streets, which is right where I'm standing.
He was just 21 years old. The pain of Jimmy Wopo's death wasn't just some local heartbreak for Pittsburgh. It hit the whole hip-hop world like a punch to the gut. And what made it even harder to deal with? The same day Wopo got gunned down, another young star, XXXTentacion, was off down in Florida. Two young...
And on my mama, if you got anybody around you that's like his uncle, that's like XXXTentacion uncle, on my mama, get away from them. Because if I'm in the car with my nephew and somebody finna rob my nephew and they pop my nephew, bro, y'all gotta kill me too, bro. Y'all gotta take me out too now. I gotta go too now. You know what I'm saying? That's just I don't know. That was the messed up situation. That's a whole nother video. Drop it in the comments if y'all want to get into that. If y'all do, drop it in the comments. If y'all don't, drop it in the comments.
Kings with so much potential, both taken out by gun violence on the same damn day. If that ain't some cold-hearted mess, I don't know what is. Now, XXXTentacion, born Jase Onfroy, was what is.
Did y'all hear how he just said his name? I know I be messing up names, but dang. Come on now.
Now, XXXTentacion, born Jase Onfroy, was just 20 years old when his life got cut short. Like Wopo, X was one of those dudes who didn't just make music, he made people feel something. He wasn't scared to be raw, to spit about real life struggles like depression, heartbreak, and trying to find a way out of the darkness. That's why his fans loved him so much. He wasn't just an artist, he was a voice for the broken, for people who didn't know how to say what they were going through. June 18, 2018 was a dark day for hip-hop. While Wopo's life ended in Pittsburgh, XXXTentacion's came to a tragic end in Deerfield Beach, Florida. He was out shopping for a motorcycle at Riva Motorsports when two dudes rolled up on him ready to cause trouble. It started as a robbery, but it ended with them firing shots straight into X's car, leaving him for dead. By the time he got to the hospital, it was already too late. At just 20 years old, his story ended before it even really began. The similarities between these two deaths hit hard. Both Wopo and X were young and full of potential. They were on the brink of blowing up even more than they already had. And both were often broad daylight, in senseless acts of violence. It's almost like life was trying to prove how cruel it can really be. What makes it even sadder is that XXXTentacion, just like Wopo, was trying to make a change in his life.
Bro, don't even try
he
to
had
say
a
his name no
troubled
more.
past, run-ins with the law, allegations of domestic, but the man was making moves to do better. He was giving back to his community, trying to spread positivity. His album, which dropped a few months...
Bro, bro, first off, stop. Y'all need to stop saying that. He did not... Yes, he got domestic charges, bro, but y'all acting like... When y'all say that, y'all make it sound like he was beating on women. Y'all gotta make sure y'all letting it be known it was being he was beating on. And they was pressing charges on him. You know what I'm saying?
Months before his death was proof he was evolving. Songs on that album hit different. They were about redemption, self-reflection, and finding hope in the darkest places.
Man, I hope
when news broke about X's death, the internet went wild. Fans couldn't believe it. Tributes poured in from all over. Kanye, J. Cole, Lil Yachty. Everybody was mourning the loss of this young talent. And even though Wopo didn't get as much national attention as X, his city and fans were just as brokenhearted. For hip-hop heads, June 18, 2018 felt like a nightmare. It was a cold reminder of how dangerous this life can be. XXXTentacion and Jimmy Wopo came from
That was a
different
little better,
corners
bro.
of the game.
That was a little better.
But their stories had so much in common. They were both young men who came up in tough environments, trying to make it big while carrying the weight of their past. But instead of being able to celebrate their success, they got caught up in the same violence they were trying to escape. Losing these two young rappers highlighted something much deeper: the cycle of violence that keeps taking promising lives way too soon. Think about it. Tupac, Biggie, Nipsey Hussle, Pop Smoke, now X and Wopo. The list keeps growing, and it ain't just a hip-hop problem, it's a life problem. These are voices that has so much more to say, and now we'll never get to hear it. For fans of X, his death hit like a ton of bricks. He was always talking about pain and mortality in his music, but nobody thought he'd go out like that. And for Wopo's fans, it wasn't just about losing their favorite artist. It was about losing a dude who repped their city, who told their stories, who made them believe that someone from where they're from could make it big. But why was Jimmy Wopo targeted yet again? Was it street beef, gang ties, or something deeper? A few months after Jimmy Wopo's untimely death, news hit the streets. Police were filing RICO charges against the infamous 1100 gang, the crew from Pittsburgh's Hill District that had been making noise for all the wrong reasons. The indictment laid out heavy accusations: conspiracy to sling dope, rob, and even take out enemies in cold blood. The authorities painted a picture of a crew that had its hands deep in the city's darkest corners, and at the top of the food chain, they claimed it was none other than Jimmy Wopo himself. The paperwork didn't hold back. It called out Jimmy Wopo, real name Travon Smart, as one of the main shot callers in 1100. Federal court documents labeled him as the most prominent leader of the gang,
this is after
suggesting that he wasn't just a rapper, but a boss with his hands on the controls. They alleged he used his growing clout in the rap game to direct gang activities, from drug deals to violent street hits. While Wopo's career was on the rise, the streets whispered that he was still tied to the block, calling shots, making moves, and keeping his enemies on edge. At the time of his death, Wopo was already under police surveillance, but the case didn't surface publicly until August 2018. By then, 3 alleged 1100 members, Deontay Griffin, Sidney Pack, and Richard Kelly, were named in the indictment. Their charges weren't light either, ranging from conspiracy to off someone to drug distribution. The feds alleged that much of this heat came from an old feud with another gang, the Wavy Boys. This was personal, bloody, and unforgiving. According to the feds, Wopo didn't just rap about street life, he lived it. They claimed he used his music career as a front, ordering hits and paying his crew with either cash or a chance to shine in his music videos. The narrative painted Wopo as a man who demanded loyalty and had zero tolerance for betrayal or failure. Disrespect? That wasn't tolerated. The paperwork suggested that anyone who crossed the line faced harsh consequences. The beef between 1100 and the Wavy Boys went back to 2012, starting with online disses and spiraling into real-world violence. Things escalated after the Wavy Boys allegedly took out an 1100 member named Lumber. That hit set off a chain reaction. Bodies dropped on both sides, each unalivement fueling more retaliation. By the time Wopo was gunned down in 2018, the streets were drenched in bad blood. In April 2015, Sidney Pack and another 1100 member known as CD allegedly unalived Wavy Boys affiliate Christopher Richardson, injuring 2 others in the process. Later that year, Wopo allegedly told his crew to take out another rival identified as MBB. The violence didn't stop there. In October 2016, Pac and Deontay Griffin allegedly offed a Wavy Boys member referred to as JH, injuring a 7-year-old child in the crossfire. Just a month later, the violence came full circle when an 1100 member known as JP was executed with 2 bullets to the head, allegedly by Pac, with Wopo reportedly present at the scene. This wasn't just random violence, it was a street war with deep roots. And for the authorities, Wopo was the mastermind, the puppet master pulling the strings. To build their case, police used everything they could find.
They be killing me though. I ain't gonna lie. The feds be killing me. They always went into a dot to act like they had all this extra evidence on you. You didn't have this. If you had this evidence, I wouldn't be dead. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up. Like be real. I'll be in jail. Let's be 100. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop playing. I hate when the feds do that, but they do that with everybody that passed. They swear they got all this extra evidence on them. And yet they don't. They lying. If they had it, they would have been booked. Come on, man. That's one thing I learned about the police. They love to come and get them all.
Interviews, and even the lyrics in Wopo's tracks.
Come on, man.
The narrative painted him as a ruthless gang leader who used his rising fame to orchestrate chaos. But was it all true? Or was this just another case of law enforcement trying to make a street rapper look like a crime lord?
Yeah.
It's important to note that Wopo was never directly accused of pulling the trigger in any of these crimes. He wasn't charged in the RICO case,
seemed like he
and
was
the
a cool
allegations
dude,
came to
bro. He
light
was just
only
a
after
rapper.
his death.
Bro,
Still,
yeah.
the federal documents painted him as a boss, someone who
RIP to
didn't
him.
need to get his hands dirty because he had soldiers to do it for him. But without Wopo here to defend himself and with his crew staying silent,
bro.
it's hard to know what's real and what's just another exaggerated narrative to bring down a street
supposed to
figure
stay
turned
silent.
rapper.
They his
The
partners.
fallout from the case was heavy.
My brothers do the
Griffin,
same
Pack,
thing.
and Kelly all pleaded guilty to the RICO charges, including conspiracy to unalive someone and drug distribution. Griffin got hit with a 117-month sentence, Pack got 78 months, and Kelly is still waiting to learn his fate. Jimmy Wopo's story is a tragic one, no matter how you slice it. Here was a talented young rapper with the potential to make it big, not just for himself, but for his city. His tracks were raw, real, and spoke to the struggles of the streets. But as much as he tried to elevate himself through music, the streets didn't let him go. It's hard to walk away from the life when there's so much history, so much blood spilled, and so many people looking to pull you back in.
And that's why I say, and that's why I always say, if you want to do better, bruh, I'm going to be $1.25. You're going to have to get away from where you from. You know what I'm saying? That's just the facts. That's just the facts of the matter, bro. You're going to have to get away from where you from, bro. Like I thought I was going to better grow up and stay in St. Louis forever when I was a kid, boy. When I grew up, I was like, man, I ain't going to never be better. I ain't going to never be better here. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to be better again, you got to better, you know what I'm saying, move around, you know what I'm saying? You got to better take that chance, because you taking a chance anyway, bro. You taking a chance every day. You taking a chance. You taking a chance taking the trash out, gang. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you somebody that like him, like a rapper or something like that. You taking a chance taking the trash out, bro. You can't just step outside the, you know what I'm saying, blow right quick. Nothing. You can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You got to, you know? So, like I said, bro. If you do choose to do this street life, and you manage to find a way out whether it's music, YouTube, whatever it is, do that, bro. 100%. Don't try to do half and half and be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and I'm still sliding on. You can't do that, gang, because you know why? It's gonna come in a full circle. It's gonna bite you in the end. You know what I'm saying? Either it's gonna be jail or hell, you know what I'm saying? One way or another. So it's a losing game. Whether you rich or poor, no matter. It's a losing game, bro. So get your pay, do your thing, get up out of there. But y'all know what to do, man. If y'all made it this far, remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, ring that bell so y'all can know everything I do and everything I post. And I'll catch y'all on the next one, man, because in Peso we trust. And we gone. You did!